Part 35. Shenhao, My Fiancée is a Villain Female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 341. Well, I'll be there in a minute, Zhang Cheng responded with a smile. After ending the call, Zhang Cheng turned off the holographic display. For a moment, the entire beach scenery turned into particle fragments and dissipated little by little. Zhang Cheng also sat up from the recliner. Stretched. Yeah, Yu's plot is over, it's time to enter the epilogue, Zhang Cheng said with a hint of relaxation in his voice. If you persist a little longer, a better life will come again. In the next 2 months, I will finish this last plot no matter what. By the way, you also need to arrange your identity and status. Otherwise, it will be difficult for the fish to settle. I didn't expect that it would be bad if it progressed too fast, and I would be in a hurry again, Zhang Cheng smiled bitterly. According to his original estimate, the world where these 4 scripts were integrated would take at least several years to complete. Who knew that the system was so powerful that I could complete 3 plots in half a year? Without thinking much, Zhang Cheng walked upstairs to the cloakroom, found a suitable suit, and styled himself. This is his habit. Whenever you date a girl, you have to dress up carefully. The sloppy image like before is gone forever. In more than 10 minutes, Zhang Cheng had finished dressing himself, casually took out one of the car keys from a pile of car keys, and walked out the door. Zuzi, patrol well, there may be more problems recently. After walking out of the door, Zhang Cheng saw several bodyguards walking past and shouted. The leading bodyguard Zuzu immediately stopped and said respectfully to Zhang Cheng, "Yes, Mr. Zhang, I understand. Zuzu and the 5 of them are living an amazing life now. Patrolling the villa for a while every day, and then practicing fighting and detection techniques, the day passed like this. After being here for so long, they caught a few thieves who wanted to sneak into Zhang Cheng's villa and steal secrets. I receive a good salary every month, but there is nothing to do to work hard. Well, if you work hard and persist for a while, everyone will get a salary increase." Zhang Cheng was very satisfied with their attitude. Although I am in a free-range state towards them. But Zuzi and the others were also very dedicated and did not relax their vigilance because there was no crisis. They maintained their status every day. "Thank you, Mr. Zhang." Zuzi and others were delighted when they heard this and responded loudly. Another salary increase. After exchanging pleasantries with them, Zhang Cheng drove his Aston Martin and left the villa. In this last plot, we face the world-class capital family, the Ross family. Zhang Cheng could not guarantee that the Ross family would not send someone to assassinate him. Anyway, it is very likely that the few bodyguards with a relatively weak sense of presence may suffer some casualties. But it is unavoidable. When they work as bodyguards and receive high salaries from themselves, they have to work hard to be worthy of the salary. Speeding all the way, Zhang Cheng soon arrived at the Magic City School of Finance and Economics. As soon as he arrived nearby, Zhang Cheng saw a slim figure at the school gate, looking up eagerly, as if waiting for something. When Zhang Cheng saw this pure and beautiful figure, the corners of his mouth always curled up unconsciously. "Qinjian, get in the car." Zhang Cheng drove his car to the school gate. Under the gaze of the surrounding students, he slowly rolled down the window and smiled lightly at Lin Qinjian, who was standing outside. Lin Qinjian nodded obediently. Now Lin Qinjian's attitude towards Zhang Cheng has changed too much. Since life at home was getting better day by day, Lin Qinjian's gratitude to Zhang Cheng became more and more day by day. "Senior, long time no see." After getting in the car and fastening her seat belt, Lin Qinjian turned her head and smiled. Zhang Cheng glanced at her and said with the same smile, "Yes, long time no see." Now that winter has entered, Lin Qinjian also put on thicker clothes. Although it is not the coldest time in the Magic City, the temperature will drop sharply at night. "I was really sorry last time," Zhang Cheng said apologetically, "there were too many things going on in the company during that time, so I had no choice but to break the appointment. Seeing the sincere apology in Zhang Cheng's eyes, Lin Qingjian was also a little embarrassed. That's not what I meant when I called before. I just wanted to invite him over for a meal. Senior, you don't have to be like this, I'm not. Lin Qingjian explained. But Zhang Cheng didn't give her a chance to finish and interrupted her. No, my fault is my fault, you don't need to comfort me, Zhang Qingji said righteously. In order to make up for my apology, I must treat you to a meal tomorrow. But since your brother invited me over for dinner today, let's finish this meal first. Lin Qingjian was a little at a loss. She was not a girl who was good at talking. When Zhang Cheng said this, she didn't know how to answer him. Let's go, it's getting late now, I need some time to get to your house. Zhang Cheng also knew her problem. After finishing the words he made up, he started the car and drove to Lin Qingjian's new home. Although it is a new home. However, her father still lives in his old residential building in the suburbs and has not moved to his new home in the Magic City. Shenhao, My Fiancée is a Villain Female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 342. Zhang Cheng drove Lin Qingjian to the underground garage of her new home in an Aston Martin. The car parked in the parking space that was provided when her family bought the house. The two took the elevator to the 21st floor. Senior, please come in. Lin Qingjian took out the key and opened the door. Zhang Cheng was not polite and walked in directly. Lin Qingjian also walked in, closed the door, and put on her shoes. Brother, I'm back. Brother, are you at home? After calling a few times and finding no one answered, Lin Qingjian invited Zhang Cheng to sit on the sofa in the living room and poured him a glass of water. Senior, please sit down first. I'll ask my brother where he is. Lin Qingjian looked apologetic on her face. Zhang Cheng smiled and said, it's okay, you go do your business first. Anyway, it's just a meal, there's not much to pay attention to. I am not a person who pays attention to grand ostentation. He took a sip of water, then stood up and looked around in the living room. Lin Qingjian took advantage of this moment to take out her mobile phone and dial her brother Lin Yuan's number. But no one answered. Just when Lin Qingjian was anxious, Zhang Cheng's voice suddenly came, Qingjian, come here, your brother left you a note. Hearing this, Lin Qingjian quickly walked to the kitchen. After taking the note handed over by Zhang Cheng, Lin Qingjian read the few sentences written on the note at a glance. Sister, I can only help you so much. Brother has gone to work, just greet Mr. Zhang at home for me. Don't read it. Besides, I have bought all the ingredients and put them in the refrigerator. There is also a bottle of red wine worth 3,000 yuan and some atmospheric candles, which are all placed in the study. Just make a candlelight dinner and eat whatever you want with Mr. Zhang. You don't have to leave any food for me. I ate outside today. P.S. By the way, your brother I won't be back tonight, you can take care of it yourself. Leave a message, your brother, Lin Yuan. Seeing the content of this note, Lin Qingjian's flawless and innocent face immediately turned red. He quickly crumpled the note into a ball and threw it into the trash can. Lin Qingjian lowered her head, not daring to look at the faint smile on Zhang Cheng's face. Senior, my brother has gone to work. Please sit down while I cook, Lin Qingjian said in a soft voice. Okay. Zhang Cheng suppressed his laughter and chuckled. Then he walked out of the kitchen. After he left, Lin Qingjian's little face, which had been flushed for a long time, instantly turned red to the root of her neck. What a shame! How could my brother leave such a note? And it was also seen by Senior Zhang Cheng. What should I do soon? Isn't it really like what my brother said? But my identity. How could he be worthy of someone with the status of Senior Zhang Cheng? Although deep down she longed to have that kind of relationship with Zhang Cheng, when she thought about her own identity, she fell into inferiority complex. After being stunned for a long time, Lin Qingjian let out a long sigh, opened the refrigerator, took out the ingredients that Lin Yuan had bought a long time ago, and started cooking. In the living room, Zhang Cheng turned on the TV. Watching TV, but thinking about the content of the note left by Lin Yuan. Thinking about it, Zhang Cheng wanted to laugh now. Ha 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 ha. Brother-in-law is indeed a great uncle. Zhang Cheng is very convinced by this wave of selling girls. As expected of you, uncle. It seems that giving you a cure is the right choice. It's really a godsend this time. Zhang Cheng watched TV, but he always wanted to laugh, It's just so uncomfortable. After a while, the aroma came from the kitchen. Zhang Cheng twitched his nose slightly and was a little surprised when he smelled the wafting fragrance. Is this girl's cooking skills so good? Judging from this scent, Zhang Cheng estimated that Lin Qingjian's cooking skills were at least level 8 or above. You can't tell, but she's still a hidden cooking girl. But it's okay, I'll leave the cooking to Qingjian from now on, and I can free my hands. Zhang Cheng felt more and more clever. In my fish pond, there are all kinds of fish swimming happily. Those who are good at managing companies, those who are good at cooking, those who are good at developing new postures. Life is so simple and unpretentious. Zhang Cheng couldn't help but sigh. After more than an hour, 5 dishes and 1 soup were served. Zhang Cheng sat at the dining table, looking at the food on the table, his index finger moving. Shrimp fried in oil, pig trotters stewed in rice wine, beauty soup. There's even a dish to replenish energy. Zhang Cheng couldn't tell what it was specifically, but with his medical skills, Zhang Cheng could smell the effect of this dish. My uncle is such a warm man. It's so considerate, knowing that I need to replenish my energy. Lin Qingjian took off her apron and said to Zhang Cheng, Senior, try how it tastes. You can tell it's delicious as soon as you smell it. It's so fragrant and has both color and flavor. Zhang Cheng gave her a thumbs up and praised, whoever marries Qingjian, you will really be a winner in this life. She is beautiful and virtuous, and her cooking skills are so good. Oh my God, let's put it this way, Qingjian, you are too perfect. As he said this, Zhang Cheng couldn't help but exclaimed. P.S. I'm here, please give me a gift, please remind me to update. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 343. After Zhang Cheng's praise, Lin Qingjian's head dropped. The little face is red. Senior, please stop talking. I'm embarrassed by what you said. Who can withstand this? This made it even more difficult for Lin Qingjian, who was already shy, to face it. If it weren't for the fact that she couldn't see her little feet. Otherwise, Zhang Cheng would definitely see Lin Qingjian's little feet twisting under the table. Fool, you are already excellent. Suddenly, Zhang Cheng gently kneaded Lin Qingjian's hair with his big hands. This sudden move of touching her head made Lin Qingjian's delicate body freeze suddenly. My heart trembled. But the warmth from the big hands that kept kneading her head made Lin Qingjian feel itchy and enjoy it. It seems, every girl likes to touch her head to kill her. Zhang Cheng also tried this trick repeatedly. Excellent people are worth any kind of praise. It doesn't mean you have to be humble, Zhang Cheng said admonishingly. The voice is extremely gentle. If you weren't really excellent, would I need to flatter you and praise you? No, Zhang Cheng shook his head. The back of his hand gently stroked down, along the hair, until it reached the cheek. In my opinion, you are a girl worthy of praise. Don't feel embarrassed and learn to adapt to these compliments. Zhang Cheng pinched Lin Qingjian's face and said with a smile. Zhang Cheng's praise was not mindless. It's about teaching her to accept the praise. Lin Qingjian did very well in school, but due to her excessive low self-esteem, some classmates had a bad impression of her. When you show your best side, you will receive praise from others as you deserve it. If you just keep silent, it's hard to tell whether others will be jealous or what. These are all uncontrollable. Similar to Zhang Cheng. People who are born to stand at the top. When he made this series of epoch-making scientific and technological achievements, others would think it was appropriate. Because he already has this ability. This is human inertia thinking. When you accept a new thing, no matter what amazing things he does in the future, you will think, isn't it normal for this person to achieve such an achievement? Olin Kinjian nodded in understanding. For her, receiving compliments is not something that can be accomplished in an instant. Zhang Cheng also knew this and didn't ask her to change now. But the seed is planted. It's very fragrant. This pork trotter is stewed in rice wine. Zhang Cheng let go of his hand holding Lin Qingjian's face, picked up a piece of soft stewed pig's trotter meat with his chopsticks and put it into his mouth. After taking 2 bites, Zhang Cheng's eyes lit up and he exclaimed, "I will be so blessed in my life by marrying you. Senior." Hearing this sentence again, Lin Qingjian became embarrassed again. Because she could instantly think of the content of the note left by her brother Lin Yuan. Haha, let's stop talking and let's eat. Zhang Cheng looked at her and laughed out loud. It's not bad to tease Lin Qingjian. This pure and sweet girl is so lovable. After the meal, the two of them ate for a full hour and a half. During this period, Zhang Cheng teased Lin Qingjian in various ways. Some words made this girl very shy, but she had suppressed feelings in her heart. After not seeing Zhang Cheng for so long, he did not disappear with the passage of time, but became more mellow. For a moment, an ambiguous atmosphere rose in the entire living room. Qingjian, do you have any plans after graduation? After having enough wine and food, Zhang Cheng sat on the sofa, took a sip of green tea to relieve his tiredness, and asked comfortably. Ah. Not yet. Lin Qingjian thought for a moment and shook her head. As for what she will do after graduation, she has no goals yet. Zhang Cheng nodded. He didn't want to interfere with Lin Qingjian's future and could only let the girl make her choice. However, he did not think that Lin Qingjian would live an ordinary life. Huh? Senior, what are you talking about? I'm still just a student. Having a child is too far for me. Lin Qingjian was thoughtful. The figure sped up, approaching her little by little, and finally blocked her against a wall. You often don't know what will happen next second. Future. Wall bang. Looking at the burly man in front of him, the young author asked with a cry, "Brother, what on earth do you want to do? Next year we can make you a mother." On the contrary, her future achievements will even surprise everyone. To me, the future is the next second. Small theater. The next second, Zhang Cheng's voice sounded like thunder in Lin Qingjian's ears. Qingjian, how many children do you think you would have if you got married? The next second. One dark and windy night, in the park. Looking at the sudden appearance of the person, the young author swallowed his saliva and said in fear, what do you want to do? A figure suddenly jumped out and blocked her. The premise is that Zhang Cheng was not as stunning as he is now. Lin Qingjian was frightened. The man's handsome smile looked particularly evil in the dim light. Then, he asked with a smile, "Little author, I am your reader. Let me ask you, do you like me? Thinking too much about things that are too far away will only increase your worries. Do you like me?" The young author was stunned, blinked, and her eyes lit up when she looked at the reminder talisman waving in the hand of the handsome reader. Lin Qingjian shook her head and said, "It's still far away. I haven't even thought about what my future will be like. Please give me a gift, please update me." She always felt that just living the present moment would be fine. Lin Qingjian. Zhang Cheng asked, "What is the future? Is it tomorrow? Or the day after tomorrow?" Qinjian, I'm going to ask you something in these few seconds. Just as she quickened her pace to leave the park, Zhang Cheng looked at the profile of Lin Qinjian sitting next to him and smiled. Not far away, you are also a 22-year-old adult. The young author was walking in the park and looking at the dark scenery around him. He couldn't help but feel a sense of fear in his heart. He replied without hesitation, I like you. Great reader. After saying that, he added in his heart, as long as you nod. The two of them were chatting, and Zhang Cheng suddenly brought the topic to a very strange corner. Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO. Author, floating like sand. Chapter 344. Lin Qinjian. Ah. She was frightened by Zhang Cheng's sudden words. So sudden? Seeing Zhang Cheng's serious expression, Lin Qinjian didn't know how to answer his question now. To be honest, she herself didn't know her feelings for Zhang Cheng. But Zhang Cheng knew that Lin Qinjian was ashamed to speak. He didn't take the initiative to confess this time, he just wanted Lin Qinjian to say that he liked him. Zhang Cheng could feel that Lin Qinjian would not be too simple with his feelings. Just answer me directly, do you like me? Zhang Cheng looked straight at Lin Qinjian, looking at her evasive eyes, and said, speak your true thoughts. I wouldn't even mind. If you don't like me, just say it directly and I will leave immediately and never disturb you again. As soon as Zhang Cheng finished speaking, Lin Qinjian shouted subconsciously. Don't want. When she shouted these two words, Lin Qinjian was stunned. What happened? Why would I say no? The subconscious cannot lie. Could it be that I have always liked Senior Zhang Cheng? When Zhang Cheng heard her answer, a bright smile appeared on his face. This is what you said. Then answer my question now. Do you like me? Lin Qinjian was very confused. On the one hand, it was the questioning from Zhang Cheng, and on the other hand, there was always a voice in her subconscious saying to her, you are not worthy of him. She didn't know how to express her feelings. Lin Qinjian was not sure what her true feelings were. Senior Zhang Cheng, I'm just an ordinary college student. Lin Qinjian replied in a weak voice. Is this important? Do you mean that I look at academic qualifications? Zhang Cheng waved his hand and said indifferently. I only care about you, not your academic qualifications. Could it be that what I want to marry is your academic qualifications? After listening to what Zhang Cheng said, Lin Qinjian's face turned even redder. What is this? However, Lin Qinjian couldn't help but think about it. When did you meet Zhang Cheng? The first time they met was in a bar. He was surrounded by several gangsters. In order to save him, Senior Zhang Cheng injured the gangster and pulled him out of the bar. This is the first encounter. Every time they met after that, it seemed that he was causing trouble for Senior Zhang Cheng, and he took the trouble to help him solve it. He also helped him find his brother and extended his father's life. Otherwise, his current family would have been torn apart long ago, right? Where is the harmonious family environment now? Gratitude has always been buried deep in my heart. But the gratitude from the beginning gradually evolved into an inexplicable feeling as time passed. Lin Qinjian didn't dare to understand what kind of feelings it was like. After thinking for a long time, Lin Qinjian's eyes suddenly became firm. Taking a deep breath, Lin Qinjian raised her head and met Zhang Cheng's gaze head-on. Senior Zhang Cheng, Lin Qinjian, just like you. What's wrong? When she said this, Lin Qinjian spoke with unprecedented confidence. The sweet voice resounded, making Zhang Chengdu stunned for a moment. But soon, a bright smile gradually appeared on Zhang Cheng's extremely handsome face. Before he could react, Lin Qinjian's delicate little hands suddenly cupped Zhang Cheng's cheeks, and her pair of thin red lips made a squeak. Kissed Zhang Cheng directly on the lips. At this moment, it was as if time had frozen. Zhang Cheng was also catering to her invasion, guiding her bit by bit. Snort. Lin Qingjian opened her eyes wide and looked at Zhang Cheng's star-like eyes, which were shining with deep love. Even though her movements were very jerky, she didn't stop there. Instead, he invaded Zhang Cheng bit by bit with a reckless attitude. Now I forcefully kiss you. All you have to do is passively cooperate with my kiss. I know what to do. Zhang Cheng naturally understood what she meant, his eyes moved slightly, and he soon gave up his guidance and allowed Lin Qingjian to take what she wanted. This action lasted for 3 minutes before Lin Qingjian gave up. He let go of Zhang Cheng and wiped his lips with the back of his hand. Why are you exerting so much force? You should kiss gently. Zhang Cheng felt the pain coming from his teeth and couldn't help but grinned and said with a smile. The first kiss was like this, too forceful. No matter what, I'm going to be like this. Lin Qingjian finally lost her shyness and weakness this time. Instead, she raised her head proudly and said. Zhang Cheng looked at her current appearance and couldn't help but chuckle. That's pretty good too. Plop. Before Zhang Cheng could react, Lin Qingjian pounced on him again. This time, Lin Qingjian's kissing movements became a little more skillful, but it was far more than that. Lin Qingjian's delicate little hands touched the buttons of Zhang Cheng's shirt bit by bit. Undo the buttons one by one. Zhang Cheng didn't make too many moves and allowed this free-spirited girl to move freely. Lying slowly on the sofa, Lin Qingjian sat on top, looked at Zhang Cheng below, and smiled sweetly. Senior, as you said, I won't let go this time. I'm afraid that if I miss it again, I will miss it for the rest of my life. After saying that, everyone rushed forward. Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 345. Lin Qingjian seemed to have completely let herself go and gradually entered the state. However, Lin Qingjian's almost crazy move made Zhang Cheng do a little bit too much. It's not that she's great. But Lin Qingjian's movements were too jerky and rough, which made Zhang Cheng grimace several times. But it's hard to talk about her. After all, as a mature man, Zhang Cheng felt that he should not interrupt Lin Qingjian's enthusiasm now. What he had to do was guide Lin Qingjian in the right direction bit by bit. It's not like that. Senior, what should I do now? Lin Qingjian asked shyly, looking at Zhang Cheng who was sitting under him and had given up resistance. After she finished everything, she realized that she didn't know what to do next. This made Lin Qingjian very embarrassed. No matter how you say it, you have to take the initiative, but at the critical moment, you realize that you don't know how. That. Zhang Cheng looked at Lin Qingjian, who was at a loss for words, and said with a helpless smile, you can study it more and see. You don't want to take it off. How can we proceed to the next step? How can we discuss life? So, you have to understand that not everything can be done immediately. If you don't take it off yourself, what should you do next? Oh. Lin Qingjian suddenly realized that she had forgotten. Then I felt a little embarrassed. The atmosphere that I had finally created was suddenly broken again. It felt so embarrassing. Soon, Lin Qingjian took off her long skirt. Be honest. But what happened next was very embarrassing. Zhang Cheng deeply felt that he had made a mistake just now. I was wrong, I shouldn't have let Qingjian take the initiative. Only then did Zhang Cheng realize that he had made a fatal mistake, which was to let Lin Qingjian take the initiative. In this regard, Lin Qingjian is still in a novice village. Compared with Su Yao, Zhongji, and Chen Yingxiu who are quick to use, she is simply bronze. At least these three are still very powerful and know how to find good angles. Zhang Cheng sighed and said. Let me do it. Zhang Cheng turned over helplessly. Ah! Lin Qingjian exclaimed and was pinned directly underneath her. It's time to turn against the guests. Zhang Cheng decided not to remain silent anymore and to stand up. If Lin Qingjian continues to take the initiative, Zhang Cheng feels that whether he can walk normally tomorrow will be a problem. Now she is hurting herself. The moment Lin Qingjian touched Zhang Cheng's fingers, he gently removed Lin Qingjian's head from his arm and placed it on the pillow. Zhang Cheng touched her head and asked softly, "Then are you willing to leave your future self to me?" Zhang Cheng sat in the car, lit the fire, smoked a cigarette, and suddenly laughed. Zhang Cheng, who was sleeping with Lin Qingjian on his side, woke up on time. He looked at Lin Qingjian, who was sleeping soundly in his arms, and raised the corners of his mouth slightly. Let the atmosphere of the upcoming winter become warmer. Lin Qingjian was finally captured by herself. Those who are capable are called Neptunes, and those who are incompetent are called scumbags. The warm breath made Lin Qingjian's body feel soft and soft. After getting dressed, Zhang Cheng walked into the kitchen as usual, cooked breakfast for Lin Qingjian, put it in the rice cooker to keep warm, and then left. That's all. Lin Qingjian's beautiful eyes sparkled, and she could kiss Zhang Cheng's cheek by turning her head slightly. "I am the pond owner, and I just simply raise a few exquisite little fishes." After saying this, Zhang Cheng started the car and rushed to the hospital. "I'm really not a scumbag. Why do I feel like a scumbag who runs away while sleeping? This scene is warm and harmonious. P.S. There are 4 days left. Keep at it, everyone. Please give me a gift, please give me an update. My income has been sluggish recently, and I almost have no money to pay the rent. Woohoo, it's so uncomfortable to generate electricity for love, oh. There was no strength left to resist. Zhang Cheng then quietly picked up his clothes and walked out of the room. Zhang Cheng lay next to Lin Qingjian's ear and breathed. After saying that, Zhang Cheng was already ready. Lin Qingjian did not hesitate, her voice was very sure, "I do. I know now that I started to like you that night." Lin Qingjian tapped her thin lips on his cheek and murmured softly, "Just be scumbag, it's enough that I can give them a warm big family." A routine day begins again. The stiff body immediately became soft. Obviously, he is neither. The next morning. "Now, I have finally captured you. You are so pure and beautiful, yet so delicate. The first time I saw you, I had the urge to protect you." Zhang Cheng bit her crystal earlobe and said in a vague voice. What is he if he isn't a scumbag? Every word of Zhang Cheng's gentle words fell clearly on Lin Qingjian's ears. He ran away as soon as he got up. "I fell in love with you from the first moment I saw you in the bar. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shenhao, My Fiancée is a Villain Female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 346. After visiting Lu Mengli in the hospital, Zhang Cheng immediately rushed to the company headquarters. During this time, he will also start to lay out his own plans. Today is the era of technology. If there are no blockbuster scientific and technological achievements that can deter others, then no matter how big the company is, it will be futile. Therefore, Zhang Cheng was not unprepared at all. Arriving at the company headquarters, Zhang Cheng received a reminder from the Tiancheng system as soon as he arrived at the office. "Master, you have received a message from Zhou Hao, president of Tiancheng Industrial. Do you want to check it?" Zhang Cheng walked into the office, and the system projection was displayed in front of him. "Let him come up and talk." Instead of checking the news, Zhou Hao asked Zhou Hao to come up and report. "Good master." After receiving the order, Tiancheng's system immediately replied, and then notified Zhou Hao to come to the office. After a while, Zhou Hao came over after hearing the news. "Mr. Zhang, I have something to report to you," Zhou Hao said immediately as he came up. Zhang Cheng sat in the office, took a sip of coffee to refresh himself, nodded and said, "Sit down and let's talk." Zhou Hao nodded, sat down on the sofa, and said, "Mr. Zhang, I received an invitation letter from the song group. Invitation card. Zhang Chen was stunned for a moment. An invitation letter from the song group? What's the meaning? Is the song group still on the fence? It seems that when a new plot emerges, the song group has become the first breakthrough point. He was not surprised. After all, the song group was his first opponent from the beginning, although Zhang Chen did not deliberately target it. But at any rate, two male descendants of the Song family who were qualified to inherit the Song family group were sent to prison. Song Qing was trying to defy Zhang Chen at the auction. But a big part of the reason is that his presence is a bit of an eyesore. Song Yi made everyone unhappy because he was disrespectful to Su Qingying, so it was normal for him to go to jail. What invitation letter? What is Song doing? Zhang Chen didn't pay attention, turned on the computer, logged into his account, and asked nonchalantly. President of the Song Group, Song Yiwei invites Mr. Zhang and I to attend a party hosted by the Song Group tomorrow night. Looking at his slightly heavy expression, Zhang Chen couldn't help but ask, party? Yes, Zhou Hao nodded. What kind of party is this? Zhou Hao took a breath and said solemnly, it is said to be a party to celebrate the cooperation between the Song family and the Ross family, the world's largest conglomerate. In fact, with the current strength of Tiancheng Group, there is no need to care about the so-called Song family party invitation. But the Ross family suddenly appeared behind him, so Zhou Hao had to be cautious, so he reported to Zhang Chen as soon as he went to work. He can make the decision on other ordinary things, but he can't make the decision on the Ross family, the world's largest plutocratic family. The Ross family is involved with the Song Group. Zhang Chen was slightly surprised. He thought about what might happen to the Song Group. After all, Su Yao complained to him when he and Su Yao fell asleep peacefully. But I didn't expect that just one script later, the Song Group would actually hook up with the Ross family. This is a bit interesting. It's not very clear, but according to my estimation, the Song Group should announce the news at tomorrow night's party. Zhou Hao shook his head. He was not particularly clear about this. After all, the news appeared suddenly and he had no time to search for relevant information. That's why Zhou Hao came to ask Zhang Cheng for instructions and see what the big boss meant. Zhang Cheng put down the coffee cup and tapped his fingers on the table, making a ta-da-da sound. After pondering for a while, Zhang Cheng slowly said, in response to him, we will attend the party on time tomorrow night. After saying that, Zhang Cheng suddenly looked out the window. Looking at the construction scene outside, Zhang Cheng's eyes suddenly became profound. The best heir of this generation of the Ross family, Ross Rogers, should make a grand appearance like I dressed as the richest man in the world, right? It just so happens that I also want to see what the world's richest man is like. Participate? Okay, Mr. Zhang, I'll reply to him right away. Zhou Hao was stunned for a moment, then nodded. Before he was about to leave, Zhang Cheng suddenly called him. Etc. Zhou Hao turned around in confusion and asked, Mr. Zhang, do you have any other instructions? You still have the shares that were arranged for you to acquire, right? Zhang Cheng said. Yes, it's been stable. Zhou Hao can now operate, and he keeps a controllable amount for every stock he holds. Now Tiancheng Group's financial resources are enough for him to operate. Very good, let's make arrangements. All stocks controlled by the Song family will be ready to sell them all when I order them. Zhang Chen nodded and said with satisfaction. If MRS Song wants to stand up, she has to see if she agrees. Now in the entire Magic City business district, he is the one standing at the top. Zhang Chen doesn't think it's an exaggeration to say that a person controls the life and death of an enterprise. As early as the beginning, he had crossed several plot layouts, all waiting to close the net. This was originally reserved for Yayu to collect the net, but before it could be fully activated, Yayu died in a car accident. Zhang Chen also feels a bit like a master who is as lonely as snow. Shenhao, My Fiancée is a Villain Female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 347. On this day, not only Tiancheng Group received invitations to the Song Group's party. In the entire Magic City, almost all listed companies and individual families with a market value of more than 1 billion have received their invitation letters. They were all invited to the celebration party for the agreement they had reached with the Ross family. For a time, a huge discussion broke out in the entire upper-class circle of the Demon City. Of course, this voice was second only to the upper-class society and those prestigious family forces. Ordinary people have no idea. The Ross family cooperates with the Song Group. Among the Su family, Shenhao, who had already retired safely, almost jumped up after receiving the news. In the plot world, all the top forces inserted will be known to them. So they were not surprised by the Ross family. How could the Song family get in touch with the Ross family? Shenhao's eyes were filled with unspeakable shock. Originally, after having Zhang Cheng's relationship, he no longer worried about the Su family's safety, but this time the Song Group's actions sounded another alarm bell for him. It's not that Zhang Cheng isn't strong enough, it's that the Rose family is truly terrifying. A billionaire capitalist would not jump like this. But the Ross family is different. This family is feared by the rich and powerful plutocrats and families around the world. This is a family whose real capital exceeds 1 trillion yuan. Trillions of US dollars. And it is controllable funds. Compared with this family, the new super-rich Zhang Cheng looks very immature. Moreover, Zhang Cheng has only estimated that the market value exceeds 1 trillion, and his real funds will never exceed 100 billion. Because it has not yet entered the profit period. Even the engineering teams he has trained now are only building clean energy sources for companies in need. If you want to enter the profit period, it will take at least a year to see results. Zhang Cheng is definitely not afraid of the so-called cooperation between the Song family and the Ross family, but he is different. Damn old guy from the Song family, I didn't expect you to overtake me again. Shenhao's eyes were gloomy. He was already incompatible with the Song family. After learning the news, his happy mood disappeared instantly. I hope Zhang Cheng can keep the Su family. No matter what Shenhao thought, one conclusion he came to was that without Zhang Cheng's care, the Su family would never be able to resist the Song family with the Ross family's support. Now, he can only pray that Zhang Cheng can take care of the Su family. Because there is really no other way. Is it really that easy to get the Ross family's money? At most, everyone plays his own game. However, she will also be thoughtful. For a time, everyone became worried. After Song Yiwei heard what they said, she frowned and said softly, "Grandpa, we can't let down our guard. They will not be allowed to be manipulated by the Ross family." Yiwei did a good job this time. The frustration that had been suppressed before had disappeared in the past few days. This time our three families will finally have a chance to turn around. Zhang Cheng, this time is the final showdown. Ha 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 ha. Only those families who were forced to be bound to the Song family's worship were ecstatic. With the huge financial support provided by the Ross family, the three of them joining forces are enough to sweep the entire Magic City industry. Song Yiwei looked at the sky and thought to herself, this time, either you will die or our family will die. However, judging from his appearance, he didn't care. Although there is capital injection from the Ross family, we must also be wary of the Ross family. For example, the Long and Li families. No matter how good Zhang Cheng is, he can only be on par with the three of us. Haha, it's good to be careful, but we still have to maximize the support of the Rose family first and seize the benefits for us. If even the Ross family can't do anything to you, then I'll admit defeat. This time, no matter what, Zhang Cheng had no chance to protect the Su family. Almost everyone here is engaged in industry. Zhang Cheng is in the technology industry and cannot interfere with them anyway. In the Song manner, the current presidents of the Long and Li families gathered here, drinking tea and talking about the future with Song Yun's Hung. But the companies below are not so lucky, and the Song family is about to dominate the battlefield. Many powerful families stepped forward and stepped on him. Seeing this, Song Yiwei couldn't say anything more. After all, she had said everything she needed to say. Long Hao waved his hand and said with a smile, "Yiwei, please don't be too unfounded. Although the Ross family is scary, we in the Dragon Kingdom are not vegetarians. You don't need to care about some small tricks. If you play too much, the superiors will not admit it of." Song Yun's Hung chuckled, took a sip of tea and smiled lightly. In addition to the Su family, other companies in the Magic City that have a bad relationship with the Song family are now also worried about what kind of retaliatory actions the Song family, with the support of the Ross family, will make. However, her words did not bother the three people who were caught in a huge surprise. After all, they are not good people. If you are not careful, you will fall into the trap of the Ross family. After all, due to being suppressed by Zhang Cheng, the Song family has fallen out of the billionaire club during this period. Song Yunchen's face glowed. "Yes, once Rogers settles in the Magic City, the Magic City will be our world. These people are immersed in the past and have never experienced real weight loss. They will not feel the pain." If there was really no way to counter Zhang Cheng, how could she agree to the Rose family's conditions? Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 348. Night, Suyao Villa. Zhang Cheng hugged Suyao's unbearable waist, closed his eyes slightly, and greedily inhaled her unique fragrance. "Don't go tomorrow night." "Why?" Suyao didn't feel any discomfort, but made a soft sound. "Because, if you go, I won't be able to slap them in the face." Zhang Cheng buried his head in her back, chewing on her snow-white neck. Suyao was amused by his words. "But Song Yiwei invited me, wouldn't it be a little bad if I didn't go?" Zhang Cheng's movements did not stop at all, and he said, "It's okay, so what if it's not okay? With me here, they don't dare to fart unpleasantly." Although Zhang Cheng's words were very light, they were full of confidence. However, given his status, it is true that his attendance alone is worthy of everyone else. This is the horror of having so much money. No one dares to say anything bad about him. Even if I feel unhappy, I can only hold it in and complain about it behind my back while drinking. If you tell him face to face, then just wait for Zhang Cheng to put on little shoes for him. But the other party is the Ross family. "Are you sure you can still control them?" Suyao asked. Zhang Cheng asked, "Why not?" What about the Ross family?" Zhang Cheng moved from his snow-white neck to another place and continued to nibble. But his speech was unambiguous. "Do I need to use oil? No. Do I need any munitions? No need. As long as I think about it, all existing weapons in the world will undergo a reform." Zhang Cheng was not joking when he said this. With the intelligence and computing power of Tiancheng's system, he has enough strength to develop capital that surpasses all current weapons. Moreover, it's not like he really has no plans in this regard. If one person wants to be as good as a country, it is only a matter of time to get involved in the arms industry. When Zhang Cheng designed the headquarters of Tiancheng New Energy, he had already built an underground research laboratory. There, unprecedented experiments were conducted. And soon there will be a new invention that will shock the world. That is the real peace machine. Or it would be more appropriate to describe it as a war machine. "Okay, I'll listen to you." Zhang Chengdu said this, and Suyao would not insist anymore. She believed in Zhang Cheng and believed that he would not lie to her because he was her man. It's that simple. Good. Zhang Cheng stood up and kissed her red lips. "This is my good Yao sister." Su Yao snorted softly. Zhang Cheng had already developed exquisite skills by walking back and forth among so many fish. Yeah, really. Okay, then Chen Xiaoxi was very happy to hear that her cousin was going to treat her to dinner, but she was a little unhappy when she heard that she might not be able to see her cousin for a long time in the future. After a night, Zhang Cheng did not run away alone this morning. Chen Xiaoxi habitually held Zhang Cheng's arm and shook it. "Cousin, do you want to treat me and Qingying's wife to dinner?" However, Zhang Cheng also knew that his relationship with Su Qingying was actually just a thin film away. However, now that we have met, it is not a big problem to make temporary changes. Zhang Cheng did not go to the company today, but went to school to find Lin Qingjian. Su Qingying's favorability rating, 90. You come first or me first? It must be because he forcibly kissed her before, that's why she behaves like this. When Zhang Cheng got out of the car, he rushed forward first. There seems to be a story between my cousin and Qingying's wife. Chen Xiaoxi, who was holding Zhang Cheng's arm, looked at the somewhat unusual reactions of the two people, and her big round eyes kept moving. Su Qingying blinked her beautiful eyes and smiled quietly. Okay. Chen Xiaoxi, who was about to go to dinner, saw Zhang Cheng's car driving in. She excitedly picked up Su Qingying and ran over. Instead, he accompanied Su Yao and made her an exquisite loving breakfast, and then left after eating. You go first, I'm a little tired up there. Zhang Cheng looked away and felt relieved when he saw that her favorability score for him was 90. That's okay. When Zhang Cheng saw this smile, he naturally knew what it meant. Once this barrier is broken, the relationship will naturally become closer. However, after entering the school, by chance, I met my cousins Chen Xiaoxi and Su Qingying. However, there was a meaningful smile on her face. Actually, I'm not here to find you. Anyway, the area where Lin Qingjian appeared was not in this area, and Zhang Cheng was not worried about being caught. Ah, cousin, are you here again? Zhang Cheng smiled helplessly, and then looked at Su Qingying, who was looking at him with a smile not far away. Really, it's really just a layer of film missing. Qingying, long time no see. After an awkward moment, Zhang Cheng invited, want to go have a meal together? Su Qingying put her hands behind her back, moved lightly, and walked over, long time no see. Okay, I came here just to treat you two to a meal. After all, my cousin will be very busy for a long time and won't have time to see you. Zhang Cheng stroked his little cousin's head and said dotingly. No longer obsessed with the fact that the Song group was favored by the Ross family, they instead catered to Zhang Cheng's invasion. Soon, Su Yao was interested in him. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 349. Although Zhang Cheng really wanted to get closer to Su Qingying. However, since his little cousin is here, Zhang Cheng really can't let her hear those inappropriate words for children. So after taking them to eat, Zhang Cheng sent them back to school. Mainly because my little cousin is here. Chen Xiaoxi, be smarter next time. You know, after returning to school, Zhang Cheng pulled Chen Xiaoxi aside and whispered, be smarter next time. Your cousin, I'm going to have a showdown with your Qingying wife. It's not appropriate for you to always be a light bulb. Seeing Zhang Cheng's fierce look, Chen Xiaoxi rolled her big eyes, looking like she was about to cry. Chen Xiaoxi sobbed slightly, sniffled, and choked. I understand, cousin, you dislike me. Okay, I'll leave now, I won't disturb you anymore. After saying that, he turned around to leave. Zhang Cheng looked at her unmoved, even looking like he was watching a good show. What about that, cousin, why don't you stop me? Chen Xiaoxi pretended for a while and found that her cousin was different from what she imagined, so she turned around in embarrassment. Seeing Zhang Cheng folding his arms and looking at herself, Chen Xiaoxi immediately became attached to him. "Cousin, please coax me. Otherwise I won't be able to coax you." Zhang Cheng flicked his finger and hit her little head. "Come on this." Chen Xiaoxi rubbed her aching head and pouted aggrievedly, "If you don't coax me, I will be a light bulb next time." Don't forget. I introduced Qingying's wife to you. Is it appropriate to burn bridges now? Does it fit? Inappropriate. Zhang Cheng looked at her seriously, then smiled mysteriously and said, "That's okay. I'll secretly go to Qingying's house while you're not around and piss you off to death." Chen Xiaoxi was stunned when she heard this. "Go to Qingying's house? When did you develop so fast?" After standing there for a long time, Chen Xiaoxi suddenly went crazy and shook her arms wildly. How is that possible? I don't even know where Qingying's wife's home is, how could you possibly know it? Then, Chen Xiaoxi seemed to have thought of something, her face was full of shock, and she exclaimed, "Oh my god, cousin, are you a following idiot? Usually only crazy people follow people." Chen Xiaoxi murmured to herself, as if she had grasped some important information. That must be the case. There is only one truth. Boom. Zhang Cheng gave her a slap in the face and said with a headache, "Why do I have a cousin who is such a drama queen like you? Go to your home." At least, he learned to be patient. "Haha, then I'll wait until Mr. Song is released from prison in 15 years." Li Rui disagreed. Okay, cousin, let's go first." Zhang Cheng grabbed her ponytails and said helplessly. "Bitch, just wait for me, wait until I go out and see how I kill you." But soon, a touch of pink quietly appeared on that quiet little face. So fast? Anyway, the two of them were already at odds with each other, so it didn't matter if they laughed at each other for a while longer. You hit me? You actually hit me." Then he stepped on the accelerator, and the car roared and left the Shanghai School of Finance and Economics. Su Qingying looked at the direction he was leaving and couldn't help but be in a trance. The prison guard turned the hat on his head, glanced at him, and said calmly, "Your sentence is over, come with me." However, when passing by Su Qingying, Zhang Cheng suddenly stopped and said, "Qingying, I'll see you later." Li Rui was wearing a prison uniform and working hard. Although Song Qing wanted to get angry, this was a prison and he would get hammered every time he got angry, so he learned his lesson. When Song Qing heard Li Rui's voice, she turned around reflexively, and then saw Li Rui's triumphant smile. After saying that, he ignored her, walked to the car, opened the door and got in. "Yes. You bitch, wait. You dare to betray me and sleep with my woman. In a prison in Shanghai." Chen Xiaoxi touched her head, with tears in her eyes, and said pitifully, "After my sister gets me out, I will be the first to chop you down." Following the footsteps of the prison guard, Li Rui stopped when he passed Song Qing's position, smiled at Song Qing who was gritting his teeth and said, "Come on, Mr. Song. I'll go back and hold my wife and children to warm up on the bed first." Hearing his words, Li Rui was stunned for a moment, and then burst into great ecstasy. Now, he just wants to leave this hellish place quickly, go home and move his family with him. With hundreds of millions in cash, he has already thought about where to retire. He didn't even know that Chen Xiaoxi could be such a dramatic person. When Song Qing thought of what his sister said to him when she came to visit the prison some time ago, she immediately laughed. Song Qing watched Li Rui gradually leave, with a murderous intent flashing in his eyes. Li Rui stopped what he was doing, wiped his hands, ran over, and said earnestly, "Here we are. Anyway, there is no hope here in the Magic City." Didn't you see that Su Qingying's eyes not far away became a little strange? Just wait, it won't be long before Song Qing, will return. A prison guard suddenly came over and shouted, 8791, Li Rui. After saying that, Li Rui left at the urging of the prison guard. Shenhao, my fiancée is a villain female CEO. Author, Floating Like Sand. Chapter 350. Night. Inside Zhang Cheng's villa. Zhang Cheng put on a black tuxedo. The whole person looked extremely handsome and full of energy. Let's go. Zhang Cheng straightened his collar, glanced at the two people with envious faces on the side, and said lightly, "Why are you dressed like that?" Qin Ming said sourly, "Wearing such a sexy bag, is it possible that you still want to hook up with that woman Song Yiwei? What do you know? Brother Cheng can hook up with anyone. Do you think he's like you?" Impotent, Lu Feng was very sensible and acted like a licking dog. He smiled at Zhang Cheng and said, "Brother Cheng, am I right?" Zhang Cheng nodded, yes, there is progress. Lu Feng is good, on the road. Now I have started to be my own licking dog. Although it sounds a bit unpleasant, it feels so good to have a licking dog. Which of you will be driving tonight? Zhang Cheng asked. The two looked at each other. Do they really think we are followers? No more driving. Forget it, looking at you guys acting like this, I'm not worried about driving. Zhang Cheng waved his hand, then picked out a Rolls-Royce Phantom from the pile of keys and walked out of the villa. Looking at the 5 bodyguards on guard, Zhang Cheng shouted, "Zilla." "Mr. Zhang," Zuzu responded quickly. "Come to a party with me tonight. You will drive and the rest will follow. The bodyguard I have raised for so long can now be pulled out. This is not someone else's party, but a party to welcome the protagonist, so this aura must be prepared. Besides, with my current status, I am not suitable to drive there during the party. After all, they are all the actual controllers of a super enterprise." "Yes, Mr. Zhang." Zuzi nodded, agreed slightly excitedly, and then ran to call the other brothers to get ready. Although this job is a bit leisurely, wandering around the same place every day is still a bit boring after all. They only get half a month's vacation a year, and they can't move around at all. Now that I heard that I could go out, I was a little excited after all. "Mr. Zhang, please get in the car." After Zuzu was ready, he put on a pair of white gloves and opened the car door for Zhang Cheng. Zhang Cheng nodded and got into the car. Seeing this scene, Qin Ming and Lu Feng were a little itchy and wanted to get into the car. But Zhang Cheng stopped him. "Hey, where is your car? Drive here yourself," Zhang Cheng said with a smile. "What about that, Brother Cheng? I don't want to drive, I also want to sit in the back seat of the Phantom." Lu Feng rubbed his now fat hands and said sheepishly, "The food I've been eating recently has been really good. The man who was strong at the beginning has become greasy now. Sure enough, money is like a butcher's knife. People who don't want to work hard once they have money, just like Lu Feng, will soon gain weight." "Aren't you unwilling to speak?" Zhang Cheng asked. "I asked you just now. All of you have become mute. Get out and drive by yourself." After saying that, the car door closed with a clang. Zuzi also got into the driver's seat of the Phantom, started the car, and headed towards the party venue. A big G with 4 bodyguards left followed closely, and they didn't dare to follow too far this time. Always maintain a range of 50 meters. Last time, on the first day of probation, desperados showed up to murder Zhang Cheng, which shocked them all into a cold sweat. Watching them go away, Lu Feng came back to his senses, glanced at Qin Ming who was stunned, pushed him, and said disgustedly, "What are you looking at? Hurry up and drive. It's really useless." The son of the second in command in the capital. Tui. Nothing. Sure enough, they were a little greedy when they saw that Zhang Cheng had a driver and a bodyguard, and they, who had a net worth of over 100 billion. "I also want a bodyguard." "No, Why are you getting in my passenger seat? My legs hurt and I can't drive. I'm sitting in the passenger seat to give you face. Roll. Don't be so stupid, hurry up and drive. Why don't I ask you to drive back tonight? Qin Ming. Can I drive the big G1, please? It's all little things. While the two were having fun, they also started to set off. After all, tonight we are going to meet the heir to the Ross family, who comes from the world's largest plutocratic family. Countless people are inevitably a little nervous. It is no exaggeration to say that the wealth held in this hand can rival the country. Cash reserves worth trillions of dollars, as well as a series of super layouts in military industry, new energy, space development, etc. All scary. This is not comparable to those so-called trillion-dollar market capitalization companies. This is the heir to a super family with a real capital reserve of trillions. It is no exaggeration to say that Zhang Cheng can only be regarded as a slightly older child in front of this person. Zhang Cheng is only successful in the field of new energy, and no one can attack him. This one is the real unsolvable one. That night, outside a five-star hotel owned by the Song Group in the Magic City, it could be described as busy.